Well, I got to tell you, couple things before we move on to what's going to happen in the future here. But I obviously I think a lot of you viewers have seen this, that I interviewed you guys for the Mixed Martial Arts Awards. You guys received Best MMA Clothing, and before you had actually gotten there, Punkass, I sat and talked with Mask and with Scrape, and it was such a laid back, kind of atmosphere. Everybody was kind of, just kind of talking, and I mentioned that for me, I always had been so respectful and so appreciative of what you guys did when you started out in such a grassroots, environment. You guys just trudged through everything against all odds, and I was very happy that shortly after that, of course, when the camera started rolling, it was on. No, it was on then. But yeah, but. Really, what I was happy about is that the short documentary came out on TapouT.com, Underdogs. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, Underdogs, it was done by Bobby Rizek, who we felt like has been kind of the industry guy for doing these type of docs and covering mixed martial arts since the beginning, and we felt like he was the right guy, so we've been doing a lot of work with him lately. And it was just I don't know, it just seemed like the right time to do something like that, and he really felt like he wanted to do something, and Charles was all about doing it. Charles wanted to do something that kind of set his legacy in stone, and so that people, that our future family and people who are in mixed martial arts could see this forever. And we're actually in the process right now of extending that out to an hour and a half movie. That set for the limited release in theaters. So I just think we felt like that the story needed to be told, and we're sure glad. Like I said, even everything, like even down to that we're sure glad that we were able to put something like that out before this happened, before this tragedy happened, right?
Yeah, that kind of shows. If you go back and watch that Underdogs, it shows a lot of the hard times and struggles, but it shows the tightness between the three of us. It shows, people always see us, Charles and myself always, jumping on Dan and fucking with him a lot, but that shows the friendship that we all three have, and for it to come out and then for this to happen, it kind of thought at first, like, it's a good time to do it, and, maybe we're going a little early, I thought maybe, or whatever, but it's perfect, because it just, like I said, it just shows how close three of us really are from the day I met these guys. We just grew a bond together.
Do you remember that day?
I remember the day. I remember meeting. Yeah, it was separately. I met Charles first, and then I met Punkass at a jiu-jitsu tournament, I think it was. And I'll never forget. I had met Charles, and he had moved into a friend of mine's house, and started hanging out with him. And then he was telling me about these fights and jiu-jitsu tournaments, and then. Charles had probably said something to Dan, like, hey, I'm going to bring this dude, and then we set up and sell at this tournament, and I'll never forget, Charles on the way home was talking to him, got off the phone, and he goes, yeah, Dan, Punkass really likes you, it's going to be good, so, good times, it's all good times.
Infectious. That guy was infectious, man. I mean, when you met him, and I'm sure just a large amount of you, had the opportunity to meet Charles. Every time that you met him, or even the first time that you met him, it was like everything was outside of that moment except for you and Charles. Wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah. I mean, he made everybody feel special when he talked to him, and he really got a lot of that from his dad, because I knew his dad too, but Charles was the best at it, I mean, we call him Mask, but, Mask was like the guy that when he sat down to talk to you, he wanted to know about you, and he was genuinely concerned about who you were as a person. I mean, it wasn't a fake, it wasn't like, oh yeah, what are you doing, and then really didn't care what you were doing. He wanted to know about you as a person, and wanted to know your background and how you got here and why you're sitting in this chair right now, and how you got started doing this, and he wanted to know everything about you, and he wanted to know about people, and I mean, it showed through in when he talked to people.
And he talked about like affecting people and touching people. Just go around, after we finish this interview, go around in these offices and ask and look and see how many people, employees in here, from salespeople to accounting to warehouse people, how many people have gotten tattoos already. of Charles's hat, and it says "Believe" or "Simply Believe" or whatever. And those are people that he'd only come in contact with and talk personally with maybe once, twice. We're in and out here all the time, every day when we're home, not on the road. But you still don't get to sit down and talk with every warehouse employee, So you only get minor contact with them, and for them to go out and put, something on them. And there's some people that have 0 tattoos who are getting it tattooed. So the way he affected people was just, you'll never meet anybody again in this world who will affect people the way he did.
Mask was an amazing person, and I feel so lucky to have met him, and I feel lucky to have met you guys. You guys, have given so much to the sport. I've thanked you off camera many times, but I want to thank you, in front of everyone that's watching this. Thank you so much for everything you've done. Yeah, no problem, no problem.
It was like the first award we ever got.
Yeah,
that award. We're like, oh, what? We got in a magazine and an award. Oh, we were all on cloud 9 when we found out about that.